right, if you would join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Once again, I would like to welcome all our guests in class number 38 of the leadership from the chamber. This time, Ms. Skelton, would you give us a roll call?
Mr. George?
Here.
Ms. Barraza?
Here.
Ms. Young?
Here.
Mr. Olson? Here. Mr. Bradley?
Here.
Mr. Westcott?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Gray?
Here.
Mr. Keller?
Here.
Mayor Teague?
Here.
Mr. Smith? And myself. Do you have a quorum?
You still have about that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have you had the opportunity to review the minutes from March 21st, 2024?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on those minutes? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. At this point in time, we'll have our finance director, Ms. Ashley Rogers, come to the podium and give us a finance report for this month.
Good evening. I am here to present to you all the financials for the month of March. In the general fund, our revenues for March were $1,402,513. Year-to-date, our revenue is 0.2% above budget. The tax receipts for the month of March were $965,331. Our franchise fees and permits were $40,462. Here we have a comparison of our city and county sales tax year-to-date for 23 to 24. We have an increase over the prior year for city of 1.57% and an increase in the county of 9.43%. To compare our city and county taxes actual to budget year-to-date, the city is below budget of 2.43%, but county is above budget by 2.16%. For the month of March, the expenditures from the general fund were $1,396,534. That is $1,093,133 of personnel-related expenditures and $303,401 for utilities and other. We are 5% below budget for our March expenditures. For the month of March, for the street fund, our revenue was $945,395. That is new sales tax of $602,633. The state turnback and ad valorem tax is $189,126. We've earned $149,081 in interest. The half-cent road sales tax is $1,055, and we have $3,500 in street cutting permit revenue. For the month of March, we are 12% below projections for the operating revenue, 17% below if interest is not considered. I would just take this time to remind you that March sales tax revenue is generated from the month of January. So that is traditionally lower, and we did have some winter weather in January that could have affected our sales tax receipts. Our March operation expenditures were at $208,895. That was $127,630 of personnel-related expense and $81,265 of utilities and others. We did spend $101,915 on capital for a mini excavator and a stump grinder. And then from our sales tax revenue, we've spent $1,237,871 on downtown improvements, the Knoxville sidewalk construction, drainage maintenance, Prairie Creek acquisitions, and pavement preservation. Our March revenues in our economic development funds were $113,146. That was made up of $86,090 of sales tax and $27,056 of interest income. In March, our expenditures from the Economic Development Fund was $224,722 for equipment in the 3 new ambulances. As of March 31st, 2024, in our 4 economic development funds, we have a combined total of $5,632,742.50. For the capital asset fund, we had $2,789 of interest income, and we did spend $43,698 making the final payment on our live burn facility for the RFG, and $7,700 for building improvements at the aquatic center. As of the end of March 2024, the unspent balance on our 2021 1-cent sales tax is $20,936,979. You can see below here how that is split out between the street, the RFD and RPD capital fund, the parks special fund, and our econ development and capital special fund.
Thank you so much, Ms. Rogers. Anybody?
I do have a question, and it's not major, but do we have a way to, because I know that like all the Eclipse kind of financial, are we able to kind of say we got an influx, or, because will we be able to know kind of where the money came from during the Eclipse timeframe?
Yes, it would be June before we start to see those sales tax receipts, and it would just take some pretty deep analysis, but I do intend to see how that benefited us.
We'll know a little bit from, hoteliers and different things. I do know that we sold a lot of fuel at the airport, too. That was a good thing, so. All right, thank you, Ms. Rogers.
Thank you, guys.
All right, moving on to the mayor's report. First, before I go on to item 1, I just want to personally and publicly acknowledge all of our employees that worked really hard over the last few weeks to make the Eclipse 2024 a success. There were so many hours that were put in, and we definitely showed well as Russellville, and it had a lot to do with our citizens, and our workers did a great job, and I'm grateful to each and every one of them, as we all should be. Item 1 in the mayor's report is consideration of a reappointment to the Russellville Historic District Commission of Betsy McGuire, Judy Galloway, and Beverly Hooten. I may add that these positions were advertised, and we did not receive any applications, so these are reappointments, and we're grateful for their willingness to serve.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion on these? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, those appointments will pass. All right, we have planning and animal control. You each have 60 seconds. No, I'm just kidding. No, negative 2 minutes is what Ms. Skelton says.
60 seconds. I don't know if I
Yeah.
can quite do that. However, I'm Sarah John Dahl. I'm the city planner over planning and development. And so I'm going to just highlight a couple of the things that we have done this past year. So staff planning reviews, we had a total of 338 applications. They're broken up between incidental subdivisions, and we combined those with the newly revised property boundary verification. For 36 of those, we had 23 pre-application conferences, single family for 161 of the reviews, and 53 commercial reviews, along with some other applications. As you can see, we did a lot of single family reviews this last year and a good number of commercial. We did lose a code enforcement officer at the beginning of this year, and we have brought on Dustin Gray, Dusty, as he likes to go by, has joined our team in the last couple weeks, and we're very excited that he is on board. Perry has done a great job of training him, and he is ready to go. In 2023, they closed 689 code enforcement cases and left 30 carried over to 2024. Just highlighting here one of the cases that they had last year and how significant of that house has now been remodeled, renovated. And so those just one of the things they do like to come alongside and try to encourage renovations, remodeling where they can when they come across houses like this. We do oversee Planning Commission and our Board of Adjustment. Planning Commission heard 42 applications, which is pretty typical. It's 42, 43, 44 in any given year. So right in line with what we have done. It's just which cases do you hear? So last year we heard special use permits and some large scale, with a few more zoning changes than we had seen in the past. And the Board of Adjustment heard 25 variances last year. So some of the applications included the new Pope County EMS, the subdivision out on Marina, and Owens Corning was heard for their large scale, which is now under construction. Our Historic Commission is another commission that we oversee. They had 9 certificates of appropriateness last year, mainly for signs. But then you'll also see the mural, and hopefully you all saw that, that J.P. Leonard did on the side of his building down there, very prominent, just in time for the eclipse, which looked great. And you had Kurt Jones also do the eclipse mural. Peter's Family Living had to put in a new awning, and so the commission heard that and got that approved. And then some of the more fun things that we do, I always do like to make a plug. This is a project that's near and dear to all of us, is saving the Lattimore Tourist Home. And the current phase is that they're doing new roof, new siding, and window repair. And those are a couple of pictures at the bottom taken of the house today that you can see that they're actively moving forward for that. And I will just make a little plug that they have a Lattimore Day event coming up April 27th, which will include some tours of the Lattimore Tourist Home. So if you're out and about that day, please check that out. And again, we'll be doing our Yard of the Month through code enforcement. That'll start next month, so be on the lookout for that. Maybe we will see one of your yards, or someone in this audience, one of your yards this year. No, not this year? Okay. But be on the lookout for that. We enjoy that, and residents of the community do like to see if their yards have been chosen. Another project that is really made possible by code enforcement in combination with the mayor's office, in combination with Arkansas Tech University. And we started this project last year in November of 2023, where we chose Circle Drive neighborhood. We cleaned up that entire neighborhood. Over 50 volunteers served serving a total of 397.5 hours on a Saturday morning in November, and really did a lot. And then we had some donations come in that also allowed us to put that new rock sign as you enter their neighborhood. So really excited about that. The next neighborhood is Glenwood Avenue between 4th and 8th. And it is actually going to include an artistic crosswalk from the Glenwood house across Glenwood towards the Manna House to give some citizens who live at Glenwood House easy and safer passage. So we have a design for that. I have not revealed it here. So if you want to come and help us on that, we are also doing that project on April 27th. So maybe we would see some of you all there. And then I would absolutely be remiss if I did not talk about the fact that in June, the city did receive the RAISE grant for $23.7 million to construct 13.1 miles. We've been actively working on that. It took 9 months, which is a record time almost, to get that grant agreement approved and signed by the federal government. It usually takes 18 to 24 months. So we've been pushing forward with that. And we're actively working on negotiations to get a consultant on board to begin this. And then just leaving you with some upcoming events. Next week is our spring cleaning. So if you have any bulk waste management will pick that up, hopefully on your day that they're scheduled to be there, if not shortly thereafter, so leave it at the curb. And then save the date, like I mentioned, our community revitalization project is April 27th. There's a lot going on that day. Please come on out and help us. And then I did not talk about the next save the date, which is the ice cream social for the Historic District Commission. That's May 23rd. We would love to have you all join us for that, to hear how the Historic District Commission operates, what they're doing, what applications they have been hearing, and just have some fun and get some ice cream.
Thank you, Ms.
so
John Doe.
much. Any questions?
I actually have a question.
Yes.
Okay, you said there were 25 variances. Was that the last year? Is that a normal amount? Is that a high amount? And what were the variances typically?
It is a normal, it's actually a little bit lower than previous years. We did not see as many variances last year than what we have traditionally seen. And I think that's in part due to how we reorganized the code. And so as far as what they were, I don't unfortunately have the specifics. I can get you the specifics, but it is a lower number than what we've heard in the past.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
Downtown looks great. Love the sidewalks.
Okay.
I'm going to ask a question that I know the answer to, but I want everybody to hear. We're repaving the streets as well downtown?
Well,
Yes, I
that is
think
my
so.
understanding, but I
Yeah,
am
it was mine
actually
too.
not working on
Okay.
that project, and so.
Sorry to put you on the spot. for
No,
that.
Yeah,
not a
your
problem.
streets will be repaved.
Yeah, I knew that. I've seen a lot of questions about that, and so I just wanted to make sure that we had a moment here where everybody could hear the answer.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Vernon? You actually have no time now. No.
You know me, it won't take very long. Mayor, council, thank you for allowing me this time to share with you our 2023 report. During the last year, the Russellville Animal Control Department responded to a total of 1,702 calls, with 221 of those being after hours. We received a total of 740 animals. Out of those, 387 were adopted, 140 were returned to owners, 49 feral cats were sent to farms, 4 were fostered out, 4 dogs were sent to rescue groups, and 1 dog was fostered. I know y'all probably been seeing on the news about how shelters in Arkansas, all of them are busting at the seams or overloaded, and we're in the same boat. We're taking pictures over the next couple of days. We're going to start an adoption special next week for free adoptions, try to lower our population. So I'd like to put the word out there that anybody, we've got a lot of good dogs and cats out there, so if anybody needs one, come see us. But that's all I have to add tonight, unless there are any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vernon. All right. Mr. Gray, is there anything from the Personnel Committee?
Mayor, we had an agenda item, but it was not ready for HR, so we will bring that back next month or the month after, whenever they're ready.
All right, thank you. Mr. Westcott with the Finance Committee, do you happen to have anything?
Yes, sir. Thank you. From our meeting last week, from that agenda, item number 1 is consideration of a resolution that would authorize the mayor, city clerk, treasurer, and grant administrator to execute a certified local government Arkansas Historic Preservation Program grant agreement with the Arkansas Department of Parks and Heritage and Tourism to use for a resurvey of the historic district and training. And we present item number 1 as a motion to adopt.
Got a motion, is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 1 will carry.
Item number 2 is consideration of an ordinance that would approve the private club permit for Buffalo Wild Wings of Russellville and allow for the application of the required permits from the Arkansas Alcoholic Beverage Control Division. This has been forwarded with a recommendation of approval, and I move that we suspend the rules to dispense with the reading requirement, read one time only by title with a short explanation.
Have a motion on the reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, sir.
Ordinance approving the private club permit for Buffalo Wild Wings of Russellville Incorporated, in line for the application of required permits from the Arkansas Alcoholic Beverage Control Division per Arkansas Code annotated Section 3-9-222 as amended for other purposes. This ordinance, if passed, would approve at the city level a on-premise alcoholic consumption permit from the city to Buffalo Wild Wings of Russellville at the listed address of 2212 East Parkway Drive.
Motion to adopt.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item 2 will carry.
Item number 3 is consideration of a resolution that would express the willingness of the city of Russellville to utilize Federal Aid Transportation Alternatives Program or Recreational Trails Program funds, and authorize the mayor, city clerk, treasurer, and grant administrator to execute all the necessary documents for the downtown connector to the schoolhouse project. We present item number 3 as a motion to adopt.
All right, I have a motion. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, moving on to item 4.
It has been requested that by the petitioner that item number 4 be tabled, and I so move.
Okay. I have a motion and a second to table this item. Any discussion? All right, all in favor of this?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you.
Item number 5 is consideration for reimbursement request for the first quarter expenses for 2024 for the Alliance for Workforce Development in the amount of $23,344.00. We present item number 5 as a motion to adopt.
All right, got a motion. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, moving on to item 6.
Item number 6 is an appropriation request from the reserves of the street fund, the sum of $1,000 to be used to pay an accident deductible, and we present item number 6 as a motion to adopt.
Have a motion. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, moving on to item 7.
Item number 7 is an appropriation request, which is a reappropriation from the Lattimore Tourist Home Special Fund, the amount of $101,616.42 to be used for the purpose of implementation of Phase 2 of the Lattimore Tourist Home Restoration Project, and we present item number 7 as a motion to adopt.
Have a motion. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving on.
Mayor, from our meeting this evening, beginning with item number 1, is consideration of a resolution that would repeal and replace resolution number 2233, which approved the invitation for bids for the city's solid waste collection and transportation program. And we present item number 1 as a motion to adopt.
Have a motion. Any discussion? All in favor? Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, sorry.
So I just want to make sure, maybe I missed it, but on the bid, do we have we asked for all the trucks to be equipped with the 360 cameras, is that on
I
there?
believe there is, I believe that's, I don't have that in front of me, but
It is on there.
yes.
It was hard
it's
to
on there,
find.
yes.
Hard
Yes.
to find?
Yeah.
Are we sure it's there then?
Yes, Mr. Smith just confirmed that it is
Okay,
there,
all right,
yes.
thank you. Also, Mr. Smith, I have a question legally. Are we good the way it's written, that it combines recycling and trash as one item?
Yes. I know that maybe you were talking about the Fort Smith case, but was that was not the basis why that case turned the way it did, and it was actually overturned in favor of Fort Smith.
Okay, thank you. I was just talking with a couple of haulers, and they wanted to make sure, or that was their advice to us, so thank you. That
Mr. Gray, Section C on page 5 requires all trucks used for waste collection and transportation must be equipped with a verification camera system to ensure accountability and transparency in service delivery. Page
Okay,
5
thank
of the contract,
Gotcha.
of the invitation to bid.
All right, and then I have one other thing. I was wondering if we could, I've got an email in to Ms. Taylor, who has talked to us about disability things before, on section section J. Is there any way we could change handicap to disability? Because speaking with her about ADA stuff, that was the term that community would rather see because of the pejorative nature of handicap, and I know that seems like a small thing, but I was just wondering if we could change that.
It's on page 3.
Page 3, yes, very top, or one thing down from, change that to disability and elderly service.
Okay.
That's just a suggestion, but
Mr. Smith, how would we go about doing that with this? Just make a motion to move forward with that amendment in the, so. Okay, Mr. Gray.
all right, then I so move to amend item J to replace the word handicap with disability.
Second.
Disability or disabled?
What I received was person of disability, so that's what I received. So I'm assuming disability service, I think would capture it. Disability and elderly service.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to amend item J to state disability and elderly service. Any discussion on this motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so that's the motion to amend that.
I would also like to make an amended motion to change the contract from 5 years to 3 years. Because if we get into this situation, even if it's a new contractor, and that contractor is purchased by a competitor, and then are we null and void and we get to start over?
You
Are we-
No,
you
it's
can,
in
you can, you can part
in the
ways
contract.
at any time with any
Okay.
contractor.
I understand that, but then how are we going to part ways if they're the only ones left? My point is, if we're stuck in 5 years, if we want to change to a municipal contract where we collect our own trash, since we're the ones taking the phone calls and getting chewed out about about it not being picked up on time. My point is, I understand why we want to have a 5-year contract so that they can recoup the amount of money that they're fronting at the beginning. I get it. But I'm gun shy. I mean, we get 25 to 30 complaints a week. Not just in the mayor's office, but all of us individually get several. And this is just me saying, I don't really think a 5-year contract is fair to us and to the citizens. I realize that may change things with pricing and make it a lot more convoluted, but we haven't had a whole lot of time to literally converse about this in the public eye. So
Okay, I would say, I'm sorry, are you?
Please.
Okay. I get it. I get being gun shy. But I have faith in this body, and, you said we haven't really talked about it in public. We have. Unfortunately, a lot of folks haven't showed up. We've had 3 working sessions, and we have been, for the last several months, been talking about this. I think that the solutions that we have come up with are going to solve for the problems that we've been dealing with. why I think that we need to keep it at 5 is because, okay, so if we think that we've come up with solutions, and then to make it economically viable and not, cost prohibitive for the citizens of Russellville, if whoever's going to bid on this is going to be like, oh, well, I mean, it's only 3 years guaranteed, so I'm going to have to, it's going to cost a lot more per month for every can that we pick up at that point. I have faith that in the work that we've done, that we're going to increase communication with the public, which I think is going to solve a lot of the issues that we're having, is because we take away that unknown of, just, okay, my trash didn't get picked up today. When's it going to get picked up? Turns into, my trash didn't get picked up today, but I've been told by the hauler that it's getting picked up tomorrow, and this is why it wasn't. And I think that's going to take away a lot of the consternation that people are having, is having to deal with that unknown. Adding the cameras, making sure that they've got someone here locally that's going to be answering phone calls when there is a problem, increased accountability in the reporting that we're asking for them. But then, so we're doing that for the citizens, but then by making it a 5-year deal and keeping it as that, we're also making it economically viable and not cost prohibitive for something that, I mean, we are requiring the citizens of Russellville to be a part of this, And so I think moving it to a 3, I get being gun shy, but moving it to a 3 is going to put, I think, an economic burden on the citizens of Russellville, who then have to, companies have to recoup their money in 3 years instead of 5.
Yeah, and I just had a hauler text me and say that will drive the price of the contract up.
Oh, absolutely. And that's not my issue. My issue, because I do believe, like, we're going to come in already at higher. So I want to make the price lower for our community. But again, I'm still not sold that this is the way to do it. And whether it's 3, 5, whether it's municipal service, but we can't do that now. Like, that's a long-term solution. And so we're put into a position where we have to take a 5-year contract now to make plans for the future, or maybe we don't, maybe we stick with it. But I just know that a lot of people care about this. And in a lot of ways, a lot more people care about this than they care about other things that I feel maybe are, more important than this specific issue, but they care. So,
I agree.
yeah.
I agree, but I think that if we move to a 3-year contract, that we could, with these specifications that we've been working on for months to try to fix these problems, that we're going to continue to then get phone calls starting next year about trash collection. Not because that they're not getting picked up, not because they don't have a verification system, not because they're not being called when it's being missed, but they're going to want to know why we decided to double or triple the amount they're paying a month to have their trash picked up. I have faith in this body, and I would say if there's something that you want to look at for after this contract, start looking at it now. But I think to say, okay, we're going to have 5 years with this, then we can look. We can look and see, did we do it well? That's one of the things that sucks about what we do, or I'm sorry, that's one of the things that's not, the easiest part about what we do is oftentimes we do our best and we come up with what we think is the best solution at the moment. And then the unknown unknowns come up and we find, oh man, we didn't even foresee this problem, because we're not perfect. But I think that what we've put together is really good. I think it solves the problems that we have been getting complaints about. And it doesn't, by keeping it at 5 years, it doesn't add or create a new problem. We're then doubling or tripling the cost of waste removal from our folks' houses. I think that they would be even more mad about that than they are about what's going on now.
Okay, I will remove my amendment.
Mr. Olson, do you have anything to add?
No, I was just gonna say, I agree with Mr. Keller. I think there's enough teeth in the contract that we can, those issues that you have, and I got them too. I got the email. I mean, I get the complaints too, don't get me wrong. What we missed on was the teeth last time. We've got them in this time. I think it takes care of it without driving the price up.
Okay, all right, so we had a motion to amend, and is there any more discussion at all before we move forward with, I'll entertain a motion on the, it's actually. Oh, I'm sorry. You have not, you've never placed a motion, did you do it? Yeah, it was never, yeah. Yeah, it shouldn't have actually been, okay, sorry, Mr. Westcott, yes, sir.
Well, we presented that as a motion to adopt, and then it was.
Yes, and then it was in the discussion, yes, sir, okay, all right, I'm sorry.
So I'm assuming we still present this amended motion as a motion to adopt.
So we presented that with the amendment, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, moving on.
Item number 2 is consideration of a reimbursement request for the first quarter expenses for the 2024 for the Boys and Girls Club in the amount of $21,489.78, and we present item number 2 as a motion to adopt.
All right, I have a motion, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving on to item 3.
Item number 3 is consideration of a resolution that would authorize the mayor and city clerk treasurer to apply for and accept a grant with the U.S. Department of Transportation to be used for a feasibility and constructability study of a pedestrian bridge addition to the Arkansas River Bridge connecting the cities of Russellville and Dardanelle. And we present item number 3 as a motion to adopt.
All right, have a motion, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, moving on to item 4.
Item number 4 is consideration of a resolution that would authorize the mayor, city clerk, treasurer, and grant administrator to execute a preliminary engineering reimbursement agreement with Union Pacific Railroad Company to allow the city of Russellville to work with Union Pacific Railroad Company's right-of-way. And we present item number 4 as a motion to adopt.
All right, have a motion, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, moving on to item 5.
Item number 5 is consideration of a resolution that would authorize the mayor and city clerk treasurer to apply for and accept a grant for the Russellville Municipal Airport for the airport apron reconstruction Phase 1 construction only and runway remarking improvements project. And we present item number 5 as a motion to adopt.
All right, have a motion, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving on to item 6.
Item number 6 is consideration of an ordinance that would approve the private club permit for the Russellville Social Club doing business as Venetia's Italian Kitchen and allowing for the application of the required permits from the Arkansas Alcoholic Beverage Control Division. This has been forwarded with a recommendation of approval, and I move that we suspend the rules to dispense with a reading requirement. Read one time by title with a short explanation.
Have a motion and a second on the reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Sir?
An ordinance approving the private club permit for Russell Social Club doing business as Venetia's Italian Kitchen and allowing for the application of required permits from the Arkansas Alcohol Beverage Control Division per Arkansas Code annotated section 3-9-222 as amended for other purposes. This ordinance, if passed, would approve at the city level the alcohol on-premise consumption permit for Russell Social Club doing business as Venetia's Italian Kitchen located at 1321 East Main Street here in Russellville.
Mayor, with no intention of asking for an emergency clause, I move to adopt this ordinance.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, moving on to item 7.
Item number 7 is an appropriation request from the 2023 carryover balance, the sum of $120,000 to be used to provide what I believe to be final funding for the citizens' awareness, infrastructure items, and preparedness supplies for the 2024 solar eclipse. And we present item number 7 as a motion to adopt.
Have a motion. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Mayor, that being the last on our part, I yield the floor back to you.
Thank you, Chairman Westcott. All right, having no unfinished old business. We'll move on to new business item under number 1. An ordinance submitting to the voters of the city of Russellville, Arkansas, and other affected persons the question of annexation to the said city of Russellville, certain contiguous territory as described by the legal description and map attached with this ordinance and incorporated by the reference of other purposes.
Mayor, regarding item number 1, it has been asked that we amend that document to reflect not the date November 12, but November 5. I move that we amend this ordinance to reflect that change.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second to replace November 12th with November 5th in this ordinance.
So that we don't have to have
Yes.
multiple
Yes.
election days. Yeah.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Mayor, this being an ordinance, I move that we suspend the rules, dispense with the requirement to read every word, and read the first of 3 readings by title with a short explanation.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, sir.
An ordinance submitting to the voters of the city of Russellville, Arkansas, and other affected persons, question of annexation to said city of Russellville, certain contiguous territories described by the legal description and map attached to this ordinance, incorporated by reference and for other purposes. This ordinance, if passed, would annex the contiguous territory as further shown in the attached legal description, which is incorporated with this ordinance, and also the maps with it as well. They're incorporated in, would set out an annexation election for November 5th of 2024, later this year.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to item 2, we have consideration of a resolution setting a public hearing for the vacation of 25 foot of Knoxville Avenue along lots 5 through 8, Block 11, Gene Renfro Edition, City of Russellville, Arkansas.
Motion to approve.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all in favor of setting this public hearing?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Item number 3 is consideration of a resolution setting a public hearing for the 60-foot portion of West 13th Street between Lot 4, Block 11, and Lot 1, Block 12 of the South Lawn Heights Edition, City of Russellville, Arkansas, for other purposes.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Oh, I didn't get a second. I apologize. Motion and a second. I'm sorry. Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Hearing will be set. Moving on to item 4, consideration of a resolution setting a public hearing for the vacation of a portion of West C Street right-of-way between blocks F and G. This is in the Hall Edition, City of Russellville, Arkansas, for other purposes.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, public hearing will be set. Moving on to item 5, this is a consideration of amending the zoning code for the City of Russellville, Arkansas ordinance NP 243 for other purposes. This is submitted by the Planning Commission.
Mayor, this being an ordinance, I move that we suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirement, read the first of 3 readings by title with a short explanation.
Second.
I have a motion and second on the reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Sir?
Ordinance amending the zoning code for the city of Russellville, which was adopted by ordinance number 2443, and for other purposes, this ordinance, if passed, would make the following amendments to the zoning code by adding Article 1, Section 14, subsection 14.2, amending Article 3, Section 12, which is swimming pools, and also Section 28, which is mobile food vendors, amending Article 6, Section 6.1 regarding off-street parking requirements, and subsection 6.1.6 involving driveways, and adding or amending definitions to Article 12, the definitions within the current zoning code, all of which are attached as Exhibit A incorporated within the ordinance.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to 5A is a consideration of amending the city code of offenses involving public safety, health, and welfare, Article 2, Chapter 3, Sections 5.3.2 and 5.3.2.1, adopted by Ordinance 2477, and for other purposes. This is submitted by the Planning Commission.
Mayor, I move that we suspend the rules, dispense the reading requirement, read the first of 3 readings by title with a short explanation.
I have a motion and a second. Mr. Keller, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Sir?
An ordinance amending the city code for offenses involving public health, public safety, health, and welfare, Article 2, Chapter 3, Sections 5.3.2 and 5.3.2.1, adopted by ordinance number 2477, and for other purposes. This ordinance, if passed, would amend that aforementioned code to the chapter regarding loud noises regulated by the city, and would make definition changes to plainly audible, and would put in a table that would show a decibel limit for certain zones within the city of Russellville, and also a time period within those which those sound levels would change, and would set out the noise measurement standards within the loud noises code.
Sir, do I have to acknowledge that Councilman Olson left the meeting at 6:48?
Yes. Yeah, right after this.
I'll acknowledge that Councilman Olson had to leave the meeting at 6:48. So, moving on to item 6, consideration of an ordinance approving the final plat of Scenic Way Village Phase 1 and accepting the dedication of the easements to the city of Russellville, Arkansas, and for other purposes.
Mayor, I move that we suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirement, read the first of 3 readings by title with a short explanation.
Have a motion and a second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, sir.
Ordinance approving the final plat of Scenic Village Phase 1, accepting negation of the easements to the city of Russellville, Arkansas, for the purposes. This ordinance, if passed, would accept the final plat and the easements and right-of-ways contained herein as of Scenic Way Village Phase 1, as shown by the plat attached with this ordinance, incorporated herein by Kraft Tulsa Associates, that was made on March 6, 2024, attached as Exhibit A.
That brings us to the end of our agenda tonight. Does anyone else have anything for the good of the group? I will entertain a motion. Motion to adjourn. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being guests. I thought I'd read that in Robert's Rules one time that